After BJP President Amit Shah set the tone for the upcoming election on the first day of the BJP National Executive Meet in the capital, the Prime Minister attacked the Congress and the opposition. Take a look at this report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi roared at the BJP National Executive Meeting and launched a fierce attack on the Congress party.
The comparison of 48 years of one family and 48 months of our performance will be judged. Surely we will ask that family worked for whom, on what consideration, with what objective, with what purpose.
The day started with Home Minister Rajnath Singh passing a political resolution which hailed Prime Minister's vision for New India and launched a big attack on the opposition for raising what the BJP called as frivolous issues.
4 साल के बाद हम ये कह सकते हैं कि नए भारत का संकल्प साकार करने की दिशा में भारत ने बहुत तरक्की की है, समाज ने भी साथ दिया है.
Prime Minister Modi, in his concluding address at the National Executive Meeting, coined a new slogan for 2019 elections: Ajay Bharat, Atal Bhajpa. The Prime Minister also attacked the opposition unity and claimed that leaders were forced to form an alliance due to BJP's popularity but had no clarity in their leadership.
महागठबंधन नेतृत्व का पता नहीं, नीति अस्पष्ट, नियत भ्रष्ट. कांग्रेस की लीडरशिप को स्वीकार करने को तैयार नहीं है और कई तो कांग्रेस की लीडरशिप को बोझ मानते हैं.
With the Ajay Bharat Atal Bhajpa slogan, BJP is confident of playing on the front foot under the guidance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. With Polomi Saha in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And my colleague Pooja Shali debates with the Congress, BJP and a political analyst over the upcoming elections in 2019. Let's quickly listen into that debate.
So have the BJP decided to use correct issues to reach out to its cadre and of course the people, or there are sidestepping of other issues as well? Let's debate and discuss. Let me introduce you to our panelists as well. From the Bharatiya Janata Party, joining me Tuhin Sinha, and in the studio with me will be political analyst Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, and also representing the Congress party which faced those barrage of attacks by the BJP, Szarita Laitphlang. Thank you so much all three of you for giving me the opportunity to ask you what precisely were the questions. Let me first begin with the Congress, because Congress was at the end of all those actions and attacks. Szarita, 48 days of BJP's work as opposed to 48 years of a family party. And I do agree at one point that the opposition is planning all these Mahagathbandhan and alliances, but there's never a clarity who will be the leader of that Mahagathbandhan.
At the very outset, when you're speaking about 48 months and the 48 years, this last 48 months has just been about deceptions and lies and scams.
Why do you say that?
I'm coming to it. So, and daylight looting, and that is what has been happening. When he speaks about the Mahagathbandhan and he says there's no clarity, I think the BJP is absolutely threatened at this point, and they're very insecure. Because
threatened of who?
No, that's what I'm
one party or the opposition?
No, they are actually threatened of the united opposition. Let me come to this. Why? The united opposition has a myriad of leaders, and we have choices there. Okay, what about the BJP? It kind of reminds me of the story, the Vikram Betal story. Earlier they were piggybacking on Modi. Now that Atal Bihari ji is not there anymore, so the Modi charm has kind of gone away, and the Modi's credibility.
Are
is
you
now,
saying the BJP is using Vajpayee as a lead?
Yes, that is what. Otherwise,
why would you say that?
No, earlier it was Ab Ki Baar Modi Sarkar. This time, why is it Ajay Bharat Atal BJP? Why? Because Modi has lost his credibility. That is why. And I will tell you, they are indefinitely a very, very insecure lot.
Okay, that's a strong response coming in from the Congress party. Let's take a rebuttal from the BJP. Tuhin Sinha, you just heard Szarita make that remark. Is the BJP threatened? Why suddenly a lot of Vajpayee references being made after his demise? Primarily because the leadership of BJP is in question.
Not at all. We respect our seniors. We revere our seniors, unlike the Congress, who, dumped Narasimha Rao. We all know what they've done to Narasimha Rao, the man who brought about the economic transformation of the country. So you don't expect us to behave in that manner. But more importantly, Neta, Niti and Niyat, the three words spell out the difference between the government and the opposition. And frankly, Ajay Bharat and Atal BJP sums up the larger picture. Today, India is invincible based on the work that we have done in the last 4 years, the social welfare initiatives, all of which, when the Congress representative says we've not done enough work, she can go to the 48 months portal, which is being updated on a real-time basis to see the amount of work which has been done in the social welfare schemes, the amount of infrastructure development.
So what's behind this slogan, Ajay Bharat and Atal Bhajpa?
That has happened is unprecedented. And thirdly,
what is this usage of terms that has been used in this new slogan clearly ahead of 2019?
India, well, I think it says it all. India is invincible based on the work.
But Tuhin, to be honest here, I noticed a lot of attacks against the Congress party. Yes.
And the thirdly, let me just complete. Let me just complete. And the third important thing is the transformative governance. The stability which we have provided to the economy, whether it is the successful implementation of the GST or landmark legislation
or the fuel
like
price
the Economic
rising,
Offenders Bill and the
reaching
IBC,
80
which have
rupees in
ensured
Delhi,
that in future the mistakes of the present won't happen. So all of that. See, I agree that the petrol prices have spiraled in the last 1 week, and there are reasons. There is a legacy to it, but I'm not going to get into that. More importantly, please know that the other parameters, whether it is retail inflation or whether it is the fiscal deficit, have been maintained to such low levels that the effect of the inflation in petrol, which would otherwise have been felt, are not felt. Yes, we are committed to bring the petrol under GST, and the GST Council will be expediting that.
Okay, final question to you before I go to other panelists.
For the simple reason that as the world's further.
Now, Tuhin, here's the thing. I noticed a lot of comments and attacks against the Congress party. Why so much focus on the Congress and the opposition? Why not focus on BJP's cadre, BJP's work to push and upbeat the morale of the party workers?
We have enough work to show. It's just that we are being attacked as a party which is all about Jumla, so we are compelled to react. It is a right to react and spell out the work we've done. Just 3 days ago, KCRG, said something about Rahul Gandhi, which I don't want to repeat, but that's what spells out the difference between
of course, the ruling party is only reacting to all the jibes by the Congress party.
Which I said right at the start.
I think it is very important to have a good opposition. Definitely, because if you don't have a constructive opposition...
But is this hatred for Modi?
No, there is no hatred
for one person.
No, there is no hatred. We don't hate anyone. We don't hate anyone. And the only thing is that I think that, when BJP says that, they need to advertise or they need to spread the word about all the works that they have done, I think they are a total failure when it comes to women's security, when it comes to mob lynching, when it comes to unemployment. What have they done? Has Modi actually spoken about any of these issues? When you talk about the price rise in fuel, when in India you're selling petrol at the rate of above 80 and diesel above 70, what is happening? Why are you supplying oil to the foreign countries at the rate of 37
because I want to get Nilanjan also, then yes, Tuhin, quickly respond to that.
I'm very amused. I'm very amused that, insecurity of women, this charge comes from a party whose president refuses to act on sexual harassment cases in his own social media team.
You know what, Mr. Tuhin, I pity you all because most of your BJP leaders have been accused for rape. Okay, what about your MOS from Assam? He has been accused of rape. Look at the Unnao case, the Kathua case. Most of them are all your BJP leaders. You all are sheltering, you all are harboring, mob lynching people. That is what you all are best at. Come on, what have you done for women in all these days? What have you all done against the 2,000 plus cases of mob lynching?
If you're referring to the Kailash Sengar case.
Okay.
If you're referring to the Kailash Sengar case, he's already in prison and CBI is investigating the case.
That is the way we act. Definitely.
Okay, let's get in a view from Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay. You've been waiting for a while listening to the political debates.
We don't shield them like...
Tuhin, I'll come back to you. Is this a political resolution? Should it have been also an economic resolution talking about what the government has done or should be able to do? How do you look at the messages that have come in the past 2 days from Amit Shah, from Narendra Modi, reaching out to the cadre?
The BJP has been harping for the last several weeks on what it claims it has done. But leaving that aside, let's begin with where you actually started, by today's slogans. Ajay Bharat and Atal BJP. Basically, if you look at it, this is actually the latest in a string of slogans which the BJP has been manufacturing over the past several months.
Okay.
It is in fact symptomatic of a desperation of an incumbent. I say the desperation of an incumbent because this is not the first time that an incumbent faces a crisis of actually wanting to.
You think they are facing a crisis? You think
Definitely,
BJP is
because the
threatened?
delivery is questionable. It is actually very difficult to quantify what actually has been achieved. The basics whichever promised has not been done. People are still waiting for jobs. People are still waiting for some of the basic promises which were made. The primary problem which Mr. Modi faces is that in 2014 he sold a very beautiful dream. Now the only way, because the dream has not been realized, the only way it can be done is that he cannot sell hope again or a dream. So he has to raise a fear, the fear of a khichdi,
Okay.
a fear of a khichdi and a nightmare that would follow if this khichdi becomes
And
a
if Har
sarkar.
Har Modi,
So
Har
you do,
Har
so
Modi
you
does
do
not
it. You
happen,
say that they don't have a leader.
Atal Bhajpa will happen.
No, because the BJP is scared of a state level elections. India is known to be either a nationwide narrative elections or an aggregation of state elections. This time the BJP is unable to present a national narrative. So what is going to happen is that there will be an aggregation of state elections, which is BJP's nightmare, because in Bengal it is going to counter a Mamata Banerjee strong situation, where the equation is going to be completely different from those states where the Congress is the primary rival to the BJP, or in the southern states where the
Tuhin, I want you to respond to that. That's an important point. Is it about state elections? Is it about a lot of state level issues that the BJP cannot answer? Yes, go ahead, please.
Now, first of all, Mr. Mukhopadhyay made a very important charge, about the unemployment thing. Let me just answer that, please. According to the Ministry of Statistics data, in the last 10 months alone, 1.2 crore people have been added to the formal sector. Prior to that, in February this year, there was a report that according to the EPF data, some 42 lakhs people had been added to the formal sector between September and February this year. So, the unemployment problem again seems to be more a figment of the Congress imagination, because please also understand that 12 crore people have got loans according to the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. If you look at the infrastructure development from 12 kilometers per day road construction, now we are doing 27 kilometers. So, is there any evidence that robots are constructing these roads? Obviously, manpower has been employed, whether they are temporary or whether they are permanent.
You want to respond to that,
I
Nilanjan?
basically want to just make a very quick point that data is something which is actually a very questionable terrain.
Why?
Because for every data there is a mirror data, and this is not, we really cannot get down to what kind of jobs have been fulfilled. Basically, till about a few months ago, the government was
About electricity that has been given to even interiors of villages and a lot of places.
Wasn't electricity given in rural areas under the UPA rule? Try to see that the number of villages which have been added to what was there, So this has been rebranding of the renaming of various schemes which are already started there in UP. We have spent endless reams.
Are you saying
of paper,
BJP has not really done anything?
No, I am not saying it has not done anything, but the primary thrust of this government has been to try to give new names to the existing policies which have continued for a long time. I am not saying only the UPA, but several of the programs which started when Mr. Vajpayee was the Prime Minister have been renamed and tried to be fashioned that it is only Mr. Modi who has started.
And people have been made to believe these are...
That nothing in this country happened before 2014, and everything that has happened...
But all governments do that. No, Nilanjan, all governments try and project that
only
we
to a
have...
certain extent. This is a government which only depends, which survives on hard sell. That has been the basic thing. If you look at the 2014 campaign, if you go back and break it down, you will also find that it was a hard sell of what had been achieved in Gujarat. Gujarat has large areas of pockets of darkness. I'm not talking in terms of...
But it is also a very fairly developed state.
I'm talking it very figuratively.
Okay.
There are large questionable areas. This is a television program is not the ideal platform to get down to the nitty-gritty and to try to actually examine it. But we have written...
Szarita wants to respond to that as well. Yes, Congress
supplement whatever he said is that when you're talking about electricity, I come from Meghalaya, and one of the most remotest village, they say that all the villages have been lit up, or they have electricity.
That was the claim?
Absolutely not, because where I come from, you only see poles and you don't have electricity. Now, if that is what you call bringing electricity to every home, then definitely
and
that's
even India
not
today
that.
had found out there were a lot of places
and let
like
me come
that.
to, and let me come to what you talk about: startup India, sit down India, sleep India, get up India, all these. Over 10,000 crores were sanctioned. Over 10,000 crores, and out of that only 90.62 crores has been disbursed, and only 109 out of the 6,981 startups have actually received funding. When it comes to Mudra, when you're talking about the Jan Dhan Yojana, only 48% of those people who opened the Jan Dhan Yojana have actually been depositing money or withdrawing money. So the rest of them is
But don't you
defunct.
think
When you
projects
come to
like Make in India, trying to revive the skilled labor, the handloom, the handicraft
the Make in
industry,
India, we trying to
it
see
sounds like the
when you-
government is trying to at
Is
least...
it, are they trying? It rather looks more than stand up India, sleep India. That's why I said get up India. It's going to be all those. Sit down India. It's going to be 101 of them.
You
Then
think
Make
they
in
are not-
India. No, we talk about Make in India. Why was the deal taken away from HAL? Why was it given to a company that's just 12 days old? Why?
Tuhin, I think you need to answer that.
You talk about Make in India. Where you're making
That
it in
projects
India?
have been announced, but have they really been taken to their conclusion?
No. So first of all, the Congress has been so inconsistent in its attacks
Why?
on the Rafale deal that I am afraid they have very little understanding of the way that the deal was struck. See, please understand that it is entirely the prerogative of the OEM, which is the original equipment manufacturer, in this case, which is Dassault, to decide its offset partner. The government had no role to play in that. So you may, come up with all sorts of accusations, but first you need to answer that if you had such a fabulous deal worked out in 2012, why didn't you have the courage to go ahead with the deal? So, I mean, the Congress's charges have been so inconsistent on the Rafale deal that first they need to make up what they need to attack us on, whether it is the, Anil Ambani thing which they are worried about, whether it is the price, but overall it has been specifically stated from a whole lot of sources within the government and even the IAF chief that the deal is the best, especially with the India-specific
that is the job of the
enhancements
opposition,
which
right?
we were able to work out post-2014.
But they're just being the opposition. They're criticizing a ruling party.
At least be more consistent in your attacks.
You need to be more consistent.
No, I just want to ask
at
Mr.
least
Tuhin,
be
why
more
was
consistent in your
41,000
attacks.
crore of the from the public
you are trying
exchequer,
to-
money
you're trying
belonging
to
to the
imagine
taxpayers
a
of
scam
India,
when there
why
is none.
was it used? Number one. Number two, when you're talking about national security, we need 126 fighter jets. Why have you compromised for 36?
Final comment to you, Nilanjan. How do you see these arguments panning out ahead of 2019 from both sides?
For the last 4
can I
years,
just quickly answer?
Okay, Tuhin, quickly. Then I need to close the show also. Yes, please. Quickly.
My advice to the Congress representative is, if you have conviction in your claims, please go ahead and approach the Supreme Court like we did in the 2G case and the coal scam. Instead of creating all sorts of concoctions about figures without really understanding the game.
Final comment, Nilanjan, then I need to close. Yes. Tuhin, I get your view. I get your view. Yes.
Since 2014, we have seen the BJP develop an expertise in whataboutery. You ask a question, they do not answer that question, but they throw up another question. Right at the beginning of this entire debate, without any provocation, when it got the opportunity, the BJP spokesman, when he got the opportunity, suddenly out of the blue said the Narasimha Rao. Where did Narasimha Rao come in there? So suddenly the point is that you don't want to defend your position. You want to attack the other for the places where you know that they can't defend.
All right. So
that's all that the BJP does.
Clearly very interesting arguments and comments coming in. I want to thank Tuhin, Nilanjan and of course Szarita as well. Very interesting debate. No shouting match, but also trying to understand which party is making which argument and why. You will have to decide by 2019 who needs to then be in power. Thank you for watching and do give us your feedback as well.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.